Brisket is marinated Goan style, then seared and slow cooked for hours with onions and chilies. Once cooked, it's stored overnight in the fridge, then skimmed for excess fat and roasted with onions and potatoes. The brisket just falls apart and the gravy is delicious. Perfect to serve as a main or even in sandwiches. Hi everyone, welcome back to Cravings and Adventures. I'm Karen Ahmed. Brisket has become a really popular cut of beef in my household. So today I'm going to be making a Goan style brisket. I'm going to be marinating this brisket similar to how I do my pot roast, but it's going to be seared and slow cooked in my crock pot for 8 hours. It's then going to be skimmed for excess fat and it's going to be roasted in my oven. The jus is then going to be thickened and it's going to be served either with rice or potatoes, or you can even serve it in a sandwich. It's absolutely delicious. Before I go any further with this recipe, do make sure you subscribe to my channel and make sure to ring that bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video. Now, let's get cooking. I have 3 pounds of beef brisket here and I'm just going to trim off the fat as much as I can. Brisket is quite fatty, hence I always cook a larger piece as I know that I will lose a lot in fat. Trim off as much of the fat as you can and we can deal with the rest later. For the marinade, I'm going to go very traditional with this one, similar to my Aunt Sally's pot roast. I'm going to start with the juice of a lime, 1 teaspoon of salt, followed by 1 teaspoon of cracked black pepper, 1 teaspoon of Kashmiri Chilli powder, half a teaspoon of turmeric, and I'm also going to add 2 tablespoons of ginger and garlic paste. I'm just going to take a moment to rub this in. You can also prepare the marinade, mix it and rub it over the meat. I have some cloves here and I'm going to prick the brisket with these cloves so they inject a nice flavor into the meat. This is how my mom always used to prepare her meat. I'm going to be using about 15 to 20 cloves. And of course, I almost forgot, you can't have a Goan style brisket without the vinegar. So I'm just going to pour 2 tablespoons of vinegar over the meat and I'm going to allow it to mix in with the marinade. If you're in a rush, you can leave this for a short time to marinate, but if you can, allowing it to marinate overnight for best results is the way to go. The next day, I'm going to heat up my pan till it's nice and hot and I'm going to add some oil. I'm going to add 1 cup of sliced onions. I'm also going to add 3 garlic cloves. I just cut these in half. I have 4 Kashmiri chilies here. I'm going to break these in half and throw them in. Kashmiri chilies give the onion a great color and flavor. Allow the onions to sweat and then caramelize before transferring them to a crock pot or slow cooker. Add more oil to the hot pan and I'm just going to sear the brisket on all sides. Just before I can take it off the heat, I'm going to add 2 Roma tomatoes that I cut in quarters. This is roughly 1.5 cups if you're using any other type of tomato. I didn't use tomato in my pot roast recipe, but it does add some nice sweetness to the brisket as it cooks down. I'm now going to transfer the meat and the tomatoes to my crock pot or slow cooker, and I'm going to add 1 cup of beef stock and close the lid. You can also add veggie stock or just water as well. I'm now going to set the timer for 8 hours. I'm going to allow this to cook and just do its thing without opening the lid for 8 hours. After 8 hours have elapsed, let's take a look. Oh my god, this looks amazing. I'm now going to transfer everything to my Tupperware again, and I'm going to allow this to chill for 6 hours to overnight. Chilling this will solidify the fat and it will be easy to remove it. The next day, I'm going to transfer the brisket to an oven-proof dish, and I'm going to add about a cup each of sliced onions and potatoes. I'm going to let the brisket heat up for about an hour, but I will let the onions and the potatoes go longer till the onions are caramelized and the potatoes are cooked. I love caramelized onions on top of the brisket, so if you wish, you can insert a second tray of sliced onions at the same time. My oven has been preheated to 350 degrees. In the meantime, I'm going to scrape all of that fat that is solidified over the jus or gravy. You can either throw away this fat, or you can use it to moisten the onions and potatoes in the oven, or you can even store it in your fridge to use later to fry in other meat dishes. Transfer the meat jus or the gravy to a small pot, and I'm just going to cook this for about 20 minutes till the liquid thickens. This is packed with flavor and it's going to be used in the brisket after I shred it, as well as a sauce over the brisket after. After an hour, the meat will literally fall apart. This is delicious, served with karak pav or a hard bun topped with caramelized onions and more jus and a dollop of green chutney. This is heaven. Enjoy. Thank you so much for joining me on Cravings with Adventures. I hope you enjoyed this delicious recipe for Goan style brisket. It's such a great way to cook a brisket. It takes a little bit of time and planning, but the results are absolutely stunning. If you love this recipe, do give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment below. I love hearing from you. Also, do share the video with your family and friends so they can enjoy all of these amazing recipes as well. And be sure to follow me behind the scenes on all of my social channels. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter. Until I see you next time, do take care. Bye.